timer. Toastmaster. Yes.
Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to our online Toastmasters All Is Gold meeting. My name is Leila Al-Ali. It's my pleasure to serving as your sergeant at arm, and I'd like to thank each of you being here with us, whether you are joining from home, work, or on the go. Your presence adds value and experience. And before we begin, just a few quick housekeeping reminder. Please keep your microphone muted unless you are invited to speak. Secondly, we encourage you to keep your camera on if you are comfortable, and it helps us to stay connected. Feel free to use the chat box or reaction to show support during the meeting. Our theme of today is marketing a new audience, trends and strategies. An award where attention span are short and platforms are constantly changing. Learning how to communicate in a ways that resonate with a different audience is more important than ever. And that's exactly what Toastmasters help us to develop clear, confident, and adaptable communication. With that, it's my honor to officially open this meeting and hand the virtual floor over to our leader. Please join me in warmly welcoming our Madam President, Widad Hijazi, with a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Dr. Laila, for this amazing role you took. Congratulations for practicing as Sergeant at Arms. You were amazing, actually, and your words are very nice. Thank you very much. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone, wherever you are in Bahrain, in Australia, or in Alaska, maybe. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, you're most welcome. Welcome to our webinar number 48 of All This Gold that we started during the pandemic of COVID, and we continued. And as change in life, this practice of having all this gold is a pride of our club, Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club. It started with introducing or educating other Toastmasters about things related to Toastmaster, but it developed like everything in life. And now we are practicing speeches and inviting other, sometimes we have some guests presenting their concern in life or their insight in life. Trends and strategies. Actually, while preparing for this, I didn't write this time a speech. I prefer to talk. I have the ideas in mind and I prefer to talk directly to you. I noticed that we have evaluation, we have these stops in our life, end of year, beginning of a new year in December, and there is the end of year in some countries and in some businesses, end of March, beginning of May, and now we are end of year in Toastmasters, end of June, beginning of July. It's a new year in Toastmasters in general. So these stops in life made me think about something as a coach I did this year in 2025. It's something I did before, but this time I do it in a different way. And what I'm amazed about is that the things I noticed, I'm doing a weekly evaluation for my tasks, whatever happens in my life, personal, professional, Toastmaster, any issue that happens in my life. And then I have this monthly evaluation, or let's say it's not evaluation like evaluating in business, but at least to have an in-depth look about what happens throughout this period of time, whether weekly or monthly. And I was amazed of the tasks we do. And then I had to stop asking a question. People say they feel bored. Oh my God, bored? This means that you have nothing to do in life. You feel bored because you are not interested with what happens in life. But in fact, what we have in life is more and more something related to us. And this leads us to what we have in Toastmasters, what Dr. Ralph C. Smedley created this Toastmaster International for, is that building better communication, building better uh, an environment where we feel safe to express ourselves, to go in depth in ourselves, and also to have our leadership skills. So let's benefit. I invite you all, let's benefit from these tasks or these experiences we have in life, and let's look out at it from a different angle. And believe me, life will change. I hope you practice this, and I'm grateful if you give me back your feedback about this if you try it. And with this, as we start our meeting, I go back to our master of ceremony for today. She's an active, vibrant member. She's the reason behind me joining Toastmasters as a member, not as a guest. You know, Toastmaster Abdullah, I'm his aunt, so he invites me as a guest. And I was trapped actually with this table topic. Come and share with us. I used to join in Babcock Club, but they never invited me to come to the stage. And then our master of ceremony today, she said, come and try table topic. And it's the first time that I think express myself in front of people, the first time I know them or the second time. So I like it. And then we have this phone call and I joined Toastmasters. She is an amazing teacher. She's a person who keeps smiling. She's quiet all the time. She presents her speeches in a very eloquent way, and I always wonder how she keeps this very calm, steady personality. Of course, she prepares a lot, and she's our next or president, president-elect. She's none other than distinguished Toastmaster Zahra Al-Mukharrak. Let's all give her a big round of applause for leading this event today. Best of luck to you, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Widad. Is this a speech or introduction? I'm really speechless, as mashallah, yani, you said a lot about me and I did not know it, or maybe none of the other Toastmasters told me those tiny details, the nitty-gritty. Thank you so much, Madam President, fellow Toastmasters, our honorable guests. Good day to you all. Welcome to our virtual meeting, Old is Gold, meeting number 48. Wherever you're joining us from, we are glad that you're here with us today. Today, we will dive into the theme that's not just timely, but truly essential for this fast-paced digital world. So please, I want you to join us in order to listen to the strategies and the trends related to marketing for the modern audience. If you're a doctor, a teacher, engineer, or a business owner, or it could be a content creator, you are a marketer. You will market your own message, your own vision, and the most importantly, you will market yourself. So today we will explore how we can connect more meaningfully, engage more creatively, and inspire our audience. throughout the modern marketing. So thank you for joining us. And I'm pretty sure that we will learn a lot throughout this interactive meeting. A question to my audience, it's to everyone. Where do you notice marketing is most during those days? Is it through social media, emails, YouTube, podcast, or in person? Please write it down in the chat box. Fellow Toastmasters, marketing in the past was all about pushing a product. But marketing nowadays, I can see that Widad said, it's about podcast and social media. We have social media, and of course, using the social media will help us a lot nowadays. So we have categories in marketing trends nowadays. We will start with the personalization, then moving to short form videos, moving to influencers collaboration. Then we have the purpose-driven branding, and last but not least, the AI power insights. I'll go through every single one in between these speeches delivered by our three speakers. So, sorry. All right. So now, fellow Toastmasters, I can see that we have our first speaker, we have our second speaker, and we're waiting. Yes, we do have our third speaker. So let's start with the first part. Now, no great strategies work without a good sense of timing. So in Toastmasters, timing is everything. To help us stay on track and sharpen our speaking skills, we have a very important role in Toastmaster meeting, which is a timer. Let's give the spotlight to our timer today. She will explain to us the timing role for today's segment. Please, let's welcome distinguished Toastmaster Sarah, our timer for today.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just a moment. There's a reason why I avoid online meetings, because my family loves to get into the meetings. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters Club, our OIG, which is our flagship program. I'll be your timer for today. As I've been informed by the Vice President Education and our MC today of the timing criteria, this is how it will follow. We have two speakers. The speeches will be 8 to 10 minutes for Toastmaster Leila and Toastmaster Gina. And our president, Toastmaster Dr. Widad, will be doing her last speech, which is Reflect on Your Path, I believe, and completing the path. So that would be 10 to 12 minutes. And the speakers are well experienced. They know the timing drill. I don't need to show the color cards right now. When we'll come to the panel discussion, the MC will just inform me, and then accordingly I will time it. I hope that's good, and I look forward to hearing all the speakers, and the evaluator can inform me privately of what he wants the timing to be. So that's it from my side. Looking forward to yet another great OIG. All the best, and back to you, MC.
Thank you so much, DTM Sarah Ibrahim, for giving us the very details. And I encourage all the speakers to communicate with DTM Sarah in case you have any specific details regarding the timing. Thank you so much again. Now, let's start with personalization. It's the marketing trend. Speaking to you, not just the crowd. You have to personalize the topic in order to make it available or attached and grab the audience attention. So don't forget, it's about personalization. Let's start with the first speaker. But before starting with the first speaker, we would love to hear from the evaluator. I would love to hear from distinguished Toastmaster Ali Shahbaz Ali, who will evaluate all the three speakers. I would like to give him the microphone in order to share with us the objectives of the speech will be delivered by Toastmaster Leila, the first speaker. DTM Ali, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremonies and panel moderator. Now, I will give a generic evaluation criteria or objectives for all the three speakers. Since we have all these goal series, we are more focused on speeches, content, delivery, and we give an overall evaluation at the end. So for the first speaker, she is delivering her speech from the team collaboration path in level 1, and she is going to deliver her first speech. Take the feedback from the evaluator and try her best to incorporate those feedback in the second speech. Going to the next speaker, which is Toastmaster Vidad. Congratulations to her in advance. This is her final speech today. I would say graduation speech for this part. And she's going to share her experiences with us about the whole path. And then moving to the third speaker, Toastmaster Gina. She chose a speech, a project from level 1, and she is going to focus on how to organize your speech. So these are the basic evaluation objectives we are looking for in today's OIG. Over to you, Madam President. But one more thing, all the speakers will speak for 8 to 10 minutes, except for Toastmaster Vidad, who will speak for 10 to 12 minutes. Thanks.
Thank you so much, DTM Ali Shahbaz, for giving us the details that will help, of course, the speakers to deliver the speeches within the criteria. So just a reminder for our timer that speaker number 1, Toastmaster Leila, will deliver a speech from 8 to 10, and Toastmaster Gina as well, 8 to 10, but Toastmaster Widad from 10 to 12 minutes. All right, so now it's time to start with the first speaker. Our first speaker invites us to a journey to explore the power within each one of us. The voice that shapes our identity, reveals our ego type, and leads us to a deeper self-discovery. She's not only a clinical pharmacist, but also a purpose-driven advocate for ethical self-marketing, believing that communication should uplift human health. Fellow Toastmasters, our honorable guests, we will have the first speaker who will deliver a speech entitled The Power That Does Not Shout. The Power That Does Not Shout. Toastmaster Leila Al-Ali, the floor is yours and all the best.
Thank you, Zahra. And I will share with you the slides before starting.
Do you need help, Toastmaster Leila?
Okay. Is this slide showing? Is this slide showing,
for
Zahra?
me,
Yam
no.
Zahra?
No, I cannot see it.
No, because I pressed the share button. 1 minute.
You have to click on share, then choose the window that you would like to
Okay.
present.
Share. Okay, is it now open?
Unfortunately, no. I cannot see it.
No, because I clicked on the
Just
button.
click on the share button and choose if it's a document or a screen. Or if you want to present your desktop.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see something now. Perfect. Just
Okay.
click on the slideshow and
Okay.
all the best, Layla.
Okay. The board that does not shout. Raise your hand if yes. Have you ever caught yourself getting angry because not someone was wrong, but they did not agree with you? How many of you have ever lost an argument, but still walked away acting that they won? Have you ever posted something just to get likes and then told yourself it's just for fun? So today our presentation will discuss, first of all, the fruits theory, understanding the foundation of the ego psychology. Secondly, the pyramid of ego from survival to humility. And lastly, the types of ego at each level. So first of all, we'll start with the fruits theory. And fruits theory belongs to a person who called a Sigmund Freud, who was born at 1856 till 1939. And he was born in Vienna, Austria. He is a neurologist, and he is known as a father of the modern psychology. Fruits create an iceberg composed of 3 levels. The down level called, and these levels are attached to the levels of our minds. So the down level, which is the conscious mind, which connected to things that we are unaware of and cannot become aware of. So like our fears, our unacceptable desires, the violent motives or irrational wishes, immoral urges, or selfish needs. The upper part of the iceberg is the preconscious mind. So the preconscious mind is connected to things that we could aware of and wanted or tried, like memories or stored knowledge. So moving to the upper part of the iceberg, it's called the conscious mind. And this is the little small up part is connected to the amount of mental activity that we know about, like our thoughts and perception. So moving to the second slide, and this second slide I created from this theory itself. I created a pyramid shows from the weakest parts of our ego, which is the weakest parts of the survival ego, moving to our possessive ego until we reach to the humble ego. I called it the pyramid of ego from survival to humility. And in depth, in the coming slides that I will discuss for you each part and each level. So we will start with the first level, which is survival ego. And as we see this image, it will represent for us 3 types of survival ego. Starting of the low ego state, which is the weak. And we see this person always defensive and reactive, and always to need to win and or be right. So this such type of ego person, he is always willing to win. We will move to a second part of the survival ego, which is normal ego state of the survival ego. And this person sometimes feel threatened or competitive, but they compose and reflect. So this is normal state of survival ego. But in the high state of this survival ego, we see the person is calm under pressure, open to be wrong, and accept the failure as long as they are learning. So this is the strongest part of the survival ego. Moving to the second level, and the title of it is possessive ego. So when we got like a position or a state in our work or in our life, like a manager or, for example, professor. So we will see a three status of this ego. Low ego state, which is the weak. And this type of ego, we see once they reach to this level, they measure their self-worth by material things. For example, clothes, brands, and wealth. For example, if I buy a Gucci bag or I got a Ferrari car, for example, I feel more self-esteem. So moving to the second part, which is the normal ego states, this type of people usually they enjoy nice things and recognition, but they doesn't depend on them on self-esteem. So it's okay if I don't get a Gucci bag, and it's okay if I get it. So they don't rely on them on self-esteem. The high ego states, which is the strong one, they are grateful, generous, and they are always using resources to help others. So when they get the things, they enjoy sharing it with others, whether a knowledge, whether things like material things, so they enjoy sharing them with others. Level 3, which is the status ego. Status ego as well belong to your states. And for example, if I had a manager or a tutor, or for example, a professor, when they are in the low ego states, they are arrogant and they are attached to the titles. So they deal with the people with their titles. If you are manager, I will respect you. If you are not manager, I will not respect you, for example. So they disrespect others based on their ranks. Moving to the normal states of ego. The normal states of ego, they take a pride when they got a rules or achievement, but they still listen to others and they still help others. But in the high ego state, when I use my state in a good way, these type of people use their positions to uplift others and they value people more than their prestige. So I will give you one example. For example, that happened in my life. I saw certain professors. They don't listen, for example, to younger researchers, and they don't give them chance because they feel that they are less than them. And actually, in my opinion, I feel sorry for them because as long that they reach to the higher state or higher level in their position, they are still in the low ego state. Moving to the purposeful ego. And the purposeful ego, we have as well 3 types. Low ego state, which is the weak. These type of people, they seek purpose, but still they crave a praise and may over-identify as being helpful. So okay if I volunteer, but I need a recognition for volunteering, okay? Normal ego state, they want to do good, as well they may seek recognition or success for fulfillment. Like if I complete my volunteering, I must get this certificate. So this is their normal ego state. And high ego state, which is the strong, purposeful ego state, such kind of people, they serve with the humility. They enjoy what they are doing without finding, they don't seek the recognition. They find the joy in the impact that they do. If there is an impact, they feel that they are fulfilled. So it's not for attention. Reaching to the higher level of ego. And I call it the humble ego. And I kept it in the top level of the pyramid once you saw it in the previous slides. So the humble ego as well has 3 types. The first type, which is the low state, which is the weak ego. The weak ego, we find these people usually passive and disconnected. And they may avoid the spotlight, so they are not present and they are disconnected from the world. In the normal ego state, we see this type of people that are peaceful and modest. They respect others and equally, and they don't seek validation. So once we reach to the high ego state, which is the strong one, they are fully self-aware and deeply calm, and they radiate respect and confidence. And present, they are present. So I kept this picture, and this picture compared between the arrogance, which is the low state, and the humility, which is the higher state of the ego. And it summarized what I have discussed. In this slide, I kept a table. You can snap it and keep it with you. It summarized all the slides that I have discussed previously. So to conclude, ego is like a silent force with us, shaping our thoughts, choices, and relationships. It isn't something to kill or deny, but it's something to understand and guide. Ego is not our enemy. It's part of us, but the way we manage it, it defined our growth. So in the lower levels, ego seeks validation, control, attention. And in the mature state, the ego shifts from serving yourself to serving others. And in the highest level, ego becomes quiet, humble, powerful, and wise without shouting. Thank you, and back to you.
Wow, such a lovely speech. A big round of applause to Toastmaster Dr. Leila Al-Ali. Such a wonderful speech. I can see that you're knowledgeable about this topic, and I'm pretty sure that during the panel discussion, we will be able to listen to, let's say, more tips, strategies, and tricks. How can we shift from the levels? But now my question to the audience, please write it down in the chat box. Where do you find yourself? Is it in the low, normal, or high level of ego? Thank you so much again, Dr. Leila. And now we would love to go or jump to the second speech. But before that, let me give you a tip for the marketing strategy. Great speeches are like great marketing campaigns. They start strong, they hook the audience, and deliver values. It's exactly that is similar to what Dr. Leila did. Thank you so much, Dr. Leila. And moving to the second speech delivered by the second speaker. Our next speaker is a coach and a trainer and our club president. So she believes that who dives deep into the trainer dives deep into the world of human emotions, She always seeks for wisdom and the heart of experience. She lives by the motto, deal and heal with your emotions wisely. And she believes that the biggest mistake in selling an idea is forgetting to solve the real problem for the audience. So you have to focus on the audience. So it's more about personalization. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Widad, for preparing a wonderful speech in advance. And now I would like to welcome Toastmaster Widad to deliver the speech. And the speech will be, the title of the speech will be Enjoy the Journey, as she will deliver her last speech from the Path Dynamic Leadership. It's the Pathways Reflection speech, and you have 10 to 12 minutes. I'm pretty sure that we will learn a lot from you, Toastmaster Widad. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster, Madam Master of Ceremony for today, Toastmaster Zahra Al-Mukharrag. Thank you for the nice introduction. Have you ever faced a serious challenge in your life? Who didn't? A challenge that puts you in a rebellious state with yourself at the first stage. A challenge that you are trapped to go through until the end. You can never quit. No way to say no. It always seems impossible until it's done. As Nelson Mandela says, it always seems impossible until it's done. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, Madam Master of Ceremony for today. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. A self-talk phrase that accompanied me throughout the whole pathway. I wonder how it comes. Enjoy the journey. Listen with that. I was always telling myself, listen, enjoy the journey. The self-leadership inner voice is like a torch that calmed me down. This statement, enjoy the journey, calmed me down throughout presenting the whole pathway. It helped me to express myself more easily, to express myself more fluently, and in addition, the moment I say enjoy the journey, it helped me go deep inside within myself to dark areas or past experiences that I thought these are normal in life. But it happened that these events or incidents or experiences, whatever we call them, a challenge, they were not normal. I ignored some, I avoided some in the past. But with this dynamic leadership pathway, they woke up suddenly, as if they were waiting at the door. The moment I started opening, they rushed and came quickly to me. So for a long time of my life, they were there, as mainly adopting the democratic leadership style, as I learned from Toastmasters, and I knew a little bit before, a style that what I was supposed to deeply observe in my relationship with others. And as a coach, I can never do that only with others. Before I express it, I experience it, I go in depth within myself. I did sure experience and went back to the reflections on my past life, the period of not past life, the past period of my present life. I did sure go there. However, I learned that leading others can never be successful unless I can lead my own self. How come I give something I don't have? How come I can lead others without leading my own self. I learned to lead my emotions, to have this balance between mind and feelings. I'm a person who has this balance. I mentioned this in one of my speeches. According to Herman's style, 4 parts of the brain, I'm 49, 51 between mind and emotions. And emotions is 1% more than my mind. So I'm always at this level, decide or not decide. Is it the mind or the emotions? So being a little bit emotional, this 1% really took a great part of my life, which was shown throughout my speeches. So throughout my journey in the dynamic leadership pathway, I witnessed in depth how many serious things happen in our lives, change us, and we, with the wisdom we have, can make the best out of it. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we win, but becoming a Toastmaster helped me to see things I used to regret, why this happened to me, or become sad due to this incident. But in Toastmasters, plus being a coach, because what happened throughout this pathway is that I made changes, my plan of changes within myself or development or growth within myself came in alliance with the pathway. So they both came at the same time, which was really helpful to me. So we have challenges in our lives. Lots were mentioned in my speeches. I talked about my self-leadership in the icebreaker. I took the role of table topic master. I was the MC in All This Gold series. Besides other roles, events, we led an event. Each role I learned made me stronger, made me better communicator and better listener. A practice, we say as a coach, you should be a listener. But frankly speaking, when you go out of being a coach or a trainer, becoming a Toastmaster, and you have these skills that explain us, I became a better listener than before, and I became a better communicator because I was learning from each and every one. The challenge I learned as table topic master or MC is that I am a serious person in nature. When I take a task, I become that rigid person, despite the leadership style I talked about. When I'm in charge, I become that serious person that who commits to the rules, he never breaks the rules, and worry about being on time. So Toastmaster is about time. Time is value. It's valuable thing. We time the meeting, we time the speeches, we time evaluators, we time everything is related to time. So being worried about finishing my task on time, I can also be, that helped me to be a better listener to what happens on the floor, what happens to audience. So there are chit chats here, or someone would like to tell a joke. Before that, I wasn't that person who accepts to be interfered in some way. I'm flexible, but once I have a task, it's my duty. In Toastmasters, taking these different roles, I became a better communicator, better listener, more flexible, accepting someone interferes what I believe I'm responsible for, and taking it. What helped me is that I discovered within myself that I have the task of taking the joke or taking the interference and then start from there to go back to the task we are doing in a very smooth way. Before that, I was a little bit like hard when saying this, just because the mind is only focusing on finishing the task. So enjoy the journey, enjoy the journey, made me enjoy what happens outside what is planned, made me enjoy the way I deal with these challenges within taking roles. As a person who is known for my smile, I learned to keep smiling. I returned back the smile I had, and I learned to keep smiling, enjoy what goes on, respect other sharings, and smoothly put things back in an active and way that doesn't hurt anyone. On the contrary, I discovered that I have this sense of humor, which I didn't believe I had before. So I thought, being a serious person, I cannot tell jokes. Within the speeches, there were some tips here and there that I can tell a simple joke, because my worry was how can I present a humorous speech? I never addressed that side. So throughout this pathway, I learned that I have some tips of innocent or fluent or comes like as it is jokes. And I'm thinking now of training myself for the future to become a humorous speaker, to train myself in humorous speeches. So being a good listener is absolutely critical to being a good leader. You have to listen to the people who are in the front line, as Richard Branson said. This leadership phrase, in addition to enjoy the journey, was with me, these two phrases were with me throughout the whole journey. One of the speeches I delivered in level 2, titled Indirectly, Directly, li in Arabic, so indirectly, directly, a speech, it was a toast, and I felt proud when presenting that speech. And that's what's amazing about being in this pathway dynamic leadership, is that you present things you never thought about. And this unleashes the power within, or unleashes the importance of experiences or the in-depth we have in life that we would have never noticed this without these pathways. The speech was a toast to Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi. I'm his aunt. I'm part of raising him. And then it happens that he is my mentor now. Like we say, it was dedicated to him as my mentor. And I felt while presenting that speech, I felt proud, yet more humble that I was raised that you learn better from the elderly. So whoever is elder than you can learn from him. But in life, we notice that we can learn from those who are younger than us, especially that they have the experience. So Toastmaster Abdullah Hijazi was there. Oh my God, was there every time I asked a question. So as a leader, I learned that the more you give in life, life will give you back. Definitely, if not at the same level, it will be more. So enjoy the journey. The second speech I delivered, I'm focusing on only two speeches here, Trans to Trans, a speech that I reflected on a very hard experience in my life. It's the pathway of my brother and the car accident I had. I put efforts in the script, showing my inner leadership that changed after that. And I learned enjoy the journey despite the challenges you have. And here comes the inner voice that listened the deep and sad emotions that were waiting the chance to come to the light. As Rumi said, it's through these wounds that where light enters you. What affected me is that not only I enjoyed the journey, but that I presented that thing I never thought I would talk about. And I remember these tears that were hidden in the eyes of the audience, the emotions I got from them. And I apologize for that. You supported me a lot, but I hope I didn't hurt someone with my story. So, so it happens that today I'm presenting this dynamic leadership, the end of my pathway. At the same time, it's June, the end of my leadership for the club. This gives me a chance to start a new starting from July. And and this something that I learned, enjoy the journey no matter what. You keep your wisdom with you, keep the balance between what the heart needs and that what the mind requests. John Maxwell says, a leader is someone who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. I would like to thank all the evaluators who guided me throughout this dynamic leadership pathway. They knew the way and they guided me to move forward. I took their words word by word. To end up, I would like to that today I can lead my emotions in a far better way, and I can lead others as well with more flexibility, better listener, emotionally stable, and of course, I can do that with a strong personality. I can take things seriously, accepting challenges, leading with wisdom, care for those who are involved, and enjoy the journey. Back to you, Madam Master of today.
Thank you so much. And if any one of us can do the stand-up ovation for Toastmaster Widad, as it's her last speech in the path. Yes, let's give her a thunders of applause. Such a wonderful speech with the, like I should say, the motto that you said, just keep on enjoying the journey. I would love to add to it. And keep smiling as usual. This is what I have learned from you, Toastmaster Widad, and I should say that I tried to enjoy the journey as studying my master's degree. I enjoyed it fully, except the thesis part, and I'm pretty sure DTM Ali can agree with me. But it was amazing journey. So yes, of course, this is an advice to everyone that you have to enjoy the journey no matter whatever happens, but you have to enjoy it as it will enrich your experience. Thank you again, Toastmaster Widad, and I will come back to you to learn more tips and tricks from you. Fellow Toastmasters, again, one more strategy that you will use for the marketing trends. One of the fastest growing trends is the video content. In fact, short videos within less than 60 seconds are getting more to reach out to more public. Why? Because it's not like the traditional way. Nowadays, the attention of the people is your currency. So try to make more videos within less than 60 seconds to attract the audience attention, as this will help you to market yourself and of course the product that you have. Moving to the third speaker for today. Our third speaker, last but not least, of course, dives into the fascinating world of personality analysis through chats. Known for her thoughtful insight and unique charm, she describes herself as the sister of Kodak camera. Please put your hands together to welcome the third speaker for today, who will deliver a speech entitled Personality Testing with Chat. Personality Testing with Chat, Toastmaster Gina John. The floor is yours. All the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sehra. Can I share my screen now?
Of course you can.
Okay.
If we can just give her.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes, nice and clear. You may start. All the best.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Sehra, for giving me this opportunity to speak on my experiences where I have tested few of the personalities with the chatbot, not chatbots, ChatGPT or Claude AI, also Gemini. As you all are well familiarized with all these applications, I would like to ask a question before I start. Have you tested your friend's personality or your colleague's personality through these applications like ChatGPT or Claude AI? Anyone has done that? And yes or
Yes,
no?
yes.
Okay. Now, when you have done, was the response equal to the human responses that you have got?
50-60% of it.
Okay, 50-60%. So today I'm going to share you few stories or few scenarios that I have come across. Okay. Now, have you heard about this particular book that is Surrounded by Idiots?
Yes, I read it. It's a great
Okay.
book, actually.
Huh.
I have this
No,
in my
okay.
library.
Laila, what did you understood from this particular topic?
It's a very great type of book that help you to be a better leader and
Okay.
successful in your life. It teach you the good way of the leadership and the bad way of leadership and how to deal with the tough leaders.
Very good. Okay. So Laila has talked about from the leadership perspective. Now, when I was reading this or reading certain books relating to Thomas Erickson, I could relate it to the people personality. Okay. So some people personality who comes with the dominant character, I could say, oh, this person belongs to red. Or if he's inspiring, you say he belongs to yellow. Or green means he becomes supportive. Blue means very analytical. So if you look from the Laila's perspective, Laila saw the concept of surrounding by idiots with the book of surrounding by idiots through a leadership perspective, where I as a person, when I read it, I am seeing how to categorize a group of crowd into different types of behavior styles. Okay. Now, why? Because social competency is one of the skill that is necessary to be sustained in an organization. Now, what do you mean by social competency? It is means you are understanding or foreseeing your behavior or an other person's behavior. Okay, so this social competency is very important. Am I clear? Yes or no? Okay. Yeah. Now, well, now you can relate. Like recently, I was teaching a group of intermediate students saying that each human behavior can be related with animals. Okay, so you have to relate these particular. For example, people who fall in the category of red, it could be categorized. They might have the characteristics of a lion. Those who fall in the characteristics of yellow, they might have the characteristics of dolphins. Who goes into the characteristics of green, they might have the characteristics of golden retriever, blue owl. So when I was recently giving a small story about a boy going and getting lost in a forest, I started relating each animal characteristics to the human characters. Okay. Now, when I was telling all these things, when I was explaining these things, could you tell me what could be the first question the kids between the age of 9 to 12 could ask me when they hear that how these animals are related, when I said about that humans are related to animals. Okay, can anyone tell me? So suppose imagine that you are 12 years old, you are listening to a story that is relating the human behavior to an animal. What will be the first question you ask? What will be the first question? Just imagine that you are hearing a story about about a human about the human beings are relating to the animals. What will be the first question you will ask as a 12-year child?
What's common between that animal and that child?
Which one?
What's common between the animal and the child? Why we select that?
Yes. What is the common? Okay, so the first thing they asked is what common characteristics are there. Okay, so I used to relate with some of the features of this animal and with the human behavior, where they said, wow, it is very relatable. Okay, so each aspect, when you see about these type of personality, you need to relate it with the animals, because we do have certain characteristics of animals. Now, when you are relating all these things, another aspect is self-awareness. Okay, can anyone tell me what is self-awareness means? How do you say self-awareness? Why is self-awareness important?
Maybe you're aware of what you need and what you want. It's like
And you can escape from emergency situations.
For me, self-awareness, Dr. Gina, is more like and trying to understand how I would react to others.
Very
Because,
good.
yeah.
Very good. It is how you react to others. That is the exact statement where you will come into self-aware. Now I'm going to certain examples. Okay. Now these are the particular books that I would like to share with you, that is written by Thomas Erickson about different types of books where he is highlighting about different personalities. Okay. Now here I have done a certain analysis, from the Surrounded by Idiot book. I took a small scenario from Thomas Erickson book, and I put it into the chat GPT, okay, to understand whether it will give me a rightful answer or not. Okay, so this is one of the story where Pele is trying to compete with his neighbors, because Pele is very competent and he doesn't like his neighbors to be getting positive words like saying, oh, you done a wonderful job. He doesn't want his neighbors to get good appreciation. He wants all the appreciation for himself. So when this concept, I put it inside for the chat GPT, this were certain answers that I have uh, got from the ChatGPT or Claude AI, or Gemini. Okay, so one of the aspect that it is saying, his actions are not intrinsically motivated. So look how the ChatGPT is relating to the HR perspective. It is not intrinsically being motivated. Okay, and by the activity itself, but rather by the external goal of winning or becoming very superior. Okay, now where you become very superior, if you go back to the Thomas Erickson, which I told you, red, blue, green, everything, this concept of perceiving as a superior, you could go into the character of red, which is like slightly like a dominance. Now when I took this three answers, put it again to the chat GPT and asked which behavior will it fall. So one thing it is saying, they will fall into the red category because they actually want to win. Okay. Again, it can come into the yellow category because it seeks attention and recognition. So if you look into back, I told you yellow category comes into the perspective of a dolphin category. Dolphins. Dolphins are good for attractions, or they are good for recognitions. Okay. So this is how you will relate to people when you're in the workplaces or in the society. Okay. Now, I will share you one situation which I have recently faced when I was working in a group of 5 teachers in my church community. As I have told some of you before, my younger child has a slightly hyperactive. She's very hyperactive. And, in some instances, 50% of the population cannot understand the behavior of the hyperactive children. Okay, so what happened is this group of teachers started to criticize my child. Okay, based on how is the upbringing. As a parent, it is very hurtful. I came and shared it with my family, saying that, oh, this has been what has been happened. So they were telling to me, some said your upbringing is bad. Some said, no, it is a problem of hyperactiveness. Now, the same question I put it in the chat GPT. Chat GPT was saying that under the ministry, your child can easily get stressful when there is no coordination from the team. Okay, so it is giving a reflection of what the teachers are being done inside the classroom. Okay, Same the situations, I try to extend it. Okay, I try to extend it where itself is giving me an analysis saying that the child have a sensory emotional issues, or it is undercoming the ADHD issue. So this has been automatically been suggested by the ChatGPT, along with giving a biblical quote, okay, biblical quote to my situation. Okay, so I think the ChatGPT can help us in understanding the situation, and I would right now try to conclude what I would like to say. Okay, thank you, and back to Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gina, for this wonderful the ideas that you shared, and you encouraged us to read this book, as I took 2 screenshots, and this will be my list during the summer to read the books. And yes, definitely we would love to hear more from you during the panel discussion. Another round of applause to Toastmaster Gina for
Thank
this
you, thank you.
wonderful speech. Now, the last but not least, the last step for the marketing trends. What to grow your audience? If you want to grow your audience, to grow the number of audience who will be able to listen to your ideas, who will be inspired by your ideas, so you have to focus on building the trust. Brands that shows transparency and the human touch build stronger connections. And it's the same way when the speaker build credibility by sharing their true stories. So this is the way how can we relate marketing to Toastmaster speeches. Fellow Toastmasters, now we're done with the first, second, and third speeches. Before moving to the panel discussion, we would love to hear from you. The first question says, what's more important to you when choosing a product or service? What's more important to you while choosing a product or service? You have 3 options. The first is the price, or the quality, or the brand values. Is it the price, the quality, or the brand values? Let's hear from you. Please feel free to write it in the chat. I can see that, yes, Toastmaster Widad said quality, Sarah as well, quality. Again, Dr. Laila, quality.
Quality.
Quality again from Toastmaster Kumar, I think. I can see the majority, they agree on quality, but let me clarify it in a different way. If we will go with the quality, as I totally agree, but we might have a range of price. So if the price is your priority, then you have to go within the budget. But if it's the quality, as most of us, we agree, then we might go for a higher price if it's a better quality. But here I would like to say that for me, it's more about the brand values. As Toastmasters, we have values that we are, all of us, we're trying to use it in every meeting, in every gathering, or even if it's in our personal life. It's about integrity, respect, service, and excellence. This is about the Toastmasters branding. Fellow Toastmaster, the second question that I will leave it to you to think about it, and we would love to hear from you after the panel discussion. So the question here, if you had to promote your own personal brand in 1 sentence, if you had the chance to promote your own personal brand in 1 sentence, leave it in the chat box, and now we will move to the panel discussion. I would love to, I'm not sure if we can highlight the speakers so we can start the panel discussion. Speakers, don't, if you're allowed, or if you can open your camera, please feel free. Dr. Gina as well, we're waiting for you. So while waiting for Dr. Gina, let's give...
Sahara, opening the screen will be very difficult for me. Okay.
All right, no worries, no worries. If you can just open it and cover it, so we will have you, all of us, like 4 of us.
Okay.
Just cover it.
Let me try. I will try to do it.
All right.
But okay. If not, I will also give my opinion. Okay. So
Sure. No problem. Yes. Okay. All right. So now let's start with the panel discussion. As we have the 3 speakers here with us, and of course the 10 to 12 or 8 to 10 minutes was not enough for them. We would like to give this panel discussion around 10 to 12 minutes. So it's about 2 questions per speaker. So let's start. Are you ready? Toastmaster Widad, Dr. Leila, Dr. Gina.
Yes, I am ready.
I can see that all of you are doctors here. We have Dr. Widad, Dr. Leila, and Dr. Gina, and we're lucky. Inshallah, doctor to be soon. All right. Yes, and of course, DTM Ali. All right, so let's start. We would like to start with Dr. Leila. The first question, what inspired you to write this speech? I'm pretty sure that you have a lot. So what inspired you, Leila, behind writing this speech?
Actually, like a lot of incidents occurs in our lives. Like since 2018, it was my plan to write it as the first speech in Toastmasters. And this was postponed until now to do it. And I felt that everyone lacking this understanding. And I had a chance to read more and more about it. And I got now a chance to speak about it in Toastmasters. And it's really helped me to understand myself better. So understand my ego, whether I'm dealing in the weak ego state or in the strong ego state. How I control my ego for the better good of the others, or doing good, serving other in a good way by using my ego state. And it helped me to understand myself more, whether I'm more selfish or I'm more helpful person, or I am a neutral person in certain situations, or how I deal with myself in different situations. So understanding ego is very important. And once we reach to this level, we will understand whether we are a mature person or we are still in the low ego state, and we need to build a stronger ego to be more mature in our lives. Back to you.
Thank you. I can see how passionate you are about this topic. Thank you so much, Dr. Leila. Moving to Toastmaster Widad. Now, Toastmaster Widad was your last speech, and it was kind of a conclusion of your entire experience throughout this dynamic leadership path. Now, you talked a lot about emotions and mind, and you were like in between where you have to choose. Can you please share with us a situation where you were like in a situation and you had to choose either to go with mind or emotion? What was it, and which one have you chose?
Well, something personal now. It's like table topic. Yes, the moment I noticed that I no longer want to stay in the job that I used to work at, enjoying it to the maximum, but I decided that I cannot stay for more time there, I decided to quit. But before that, I had this stop with myself. Now I have my own silence time every day that I sit with myself to keep silent, to listen to the inner voice. But at that time, I didn't know that. I just sat with myself. I don't want to stay here. But where do I want to go? So I did a crazy thing. I never thought of emotions. I put them aside and decided to quit. It took me 2 years asking to be released, let's say, for retirement, and they never agreed for 2 years. So that was really not easy for me because I left my work without providing an alternative. So that was, at that time, that was a crazy thing. People come to me and I closed that emotional part, stay aside. If you influence me now, I would stay here. But I have this vision that I have to be somewhere else. What I did throughout these 2 years in order to quieten this emotional part, that I decided that I will not leave until I keep a trace that continues after I leave. And that's it. Since I was responsible for the psychosocial program within all the schools in UNRWA in Lebanon, so I created a program that continues every year, and it doesn't need financial because we depend on donations. So I created something that we can do every year where we share the parents, the teachers, and the students in an emotional day, expressing emotions, social and mental, of course. And it's still going on. Since I started this in 2014, now we are 2025. The program is still going on. Some counselors still contact me for a few ideas from time to time. I'm proud of that.
Wow, wow, love it, mashallah. And I can say, especially to our incoming VP education, but we have to have the panel discussion after each meeting or after each speech, as we can see the speakers from different perspective. We can listen to their personal stories that they could not share during the speeches. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Widad. Moving to Toastmaster Gina. I know that reading the book and let's say enhanced your level of experience and encouraged you, plus you've gained a lot of wisdom. How can you use this wisdom in Toastmasters? As you give us lots of experiences, lots of examples in school or with animals, but I would love to see how can you relate it to Toastmasters.
Okay, thank you, Sahra. Yes, I do agree when you say that I do a lot of readings. When I read, see, there are different ways like how you are going to uh, take each ideas from the book that you are reading. Okay, for example, the Thomas Erickson books which I just showed you now, some perspective I do agree with it when I view it with the society. Some perspective I doesn't view with it. As before, when I asked you, have anyone read this particular book, we can hear from the Dr. Laila saying from her perspective it looks from a leadership style. When it came to me, I didn't look it from a leadership style, I looked it from an ordinary person perspective. Okay, so this, what all I have learned from it, I will be categorizing it, of it on the surround, on the people that is surrounded me. Okay, so when I read a book, I make sure that whether this particular person falls in this category or not. Okay, which I can rely on it 50-50%. Okay, that is why when I am not getting an 100% answer, I tried with the chat GBTs, okay, to know whether there is a parallel answers coming for me. Now, what I have done recently, what I have tested is what I learned from the book. I observed it practically. Then I tried to take an overall solution from it. I tested on the human perspective to understand whether these human beings are also thinking in the same way. Parallelly, I tested with the ChatGPT. You know what happened was that all these three people gave me a base answer, but different perspective. Okay, different way of perspective I could feel. Okay, because when I read about the Thomas Erickson book, I could feel that I tried to categorize certain community people into the category of red, yellow, blue, and green. But sometimes the perspective in it may not match. Okay, they are may not be matching. So what I will do, I would ask to a human opinion. When it comes to a human opinion, based on the relation with me, that human relation with me, he could give me an aggressive response or a calmer response. Okay, so this is the two perspective. Now when I go back to ChatGPT give a constructive analysis. Okay, it may start with a statement saying that you have done a wonderful job. Then it will criticize or downsize into a point that saying that where we have a mistake, where we need to catch up. Okay, so this is how, as a person, when I read things, okay, I try to experience from the different perspective, which I don't not only rely on myself, I rely on different categorization. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Gina, for sharing with us the idea from different perspective and how can we relate to the book that you read. Moving to the second question, we will give 1 minute to each speaker. Second question, we will start again with Dr. Leila. Now, Dr. Leila, I can see that you talked a lot about this topic, but we would love just to hear from you the tips and tricks that you will use or you used already to move from low to normal or from normal to high. Tips that helped you or you would love to encourage us to use it.
Okay, so it's not necessary to keep your level always high. So I'm aiming actually for the normal level because high it's not always can be appropriate in like different situations. So at least to be more control of my ego. So whether if I'm in tough situation, I will go for the high of our normal survivor ego. In certain situation, I might need to reflect. In certain situation, I accept failure. So for example, in survivor ego, as long as I'm learning. In certain situation, we are human beings, so we would give, but in certain situation, we will be happy if we get certain recognitions. So being normal is better, but being in the low state will make you in a very bad picture for others, and it will reflect a bad situation. It will might also help hurt the other's feeling or hurt your feeling. So it's I'm aiming for the normal states of ego as long as my level, for example. And I always seek for more purposeful ego, the normal purposeful ego that I do work with a purpose, and this purpose uplift the others for the better way. So this is my aim.
Thank you so much, Dr. Leila. Moving to Toastmaster, Dr. Widad. Your question here, you took us through your journey throughout this path. We would love just to hear the highlights from you. What have you learned and what are the tips that you would like to share with us throughout your journey that you've experienced as a dynamic leader?
Well, what I want to highlight is be consistent. Sometimes you feel that you don't want to present a speech. Don't listen to that voice. Go and present a speech. You are capable of writing a speech. That the pathway leads you where to go. You just have to go and search within your life experience which matches with this and what you learned out of it. Listen carefully to the evaluators' speeches and evaluation. That means a lot. Put a touch of emotion within your speech and be genuine. This will reach to each and every heart of the audience. Be genuine, not to create things that you don't feel like that. The second part of the question is?
I think, yes, it's only like the tips or the strategies that you have learned.
Yeah, the strategy is that I worked hard on presenting at the first part of the pathway, the first 3 levels. I had a plan to present, if not in every meeting, each and other meeting, to keep practicing and practicing. That would help me a lot. So I had a plan at the beginning, and then the other part, because it was more about projects. So what I learned is that projects cannot be done alone. I had teams in the projects, and this is very important. You need to choose a team that matches with your personality, a team that understands you, and above all that, a team that can support you where you need, not only understand you, but you can depend on them, and this will help you go smoothly with your project.
Thank you so much, Dr. Widad. Moving to Dr. Gina, the last question for you. Do you trust the AI results and the accuracy for the outcome? And what are the tips that you would love to encourage the audience? How can they relate, or how can they trust the content delivered and shared by the AI tools?
Okay, thank you, Sahara. Sahara, this is what I actually wanted to highlight from my speech, okay, where I could only partially only complete and present it, okay. When you ask me whether I can trust the AI content, there also it depends on my mindset or my acceptance, okay, or the person's acceptance. Let's forget about the concept I, whoever is using it, his acceptance to the contents that it is generating from the chat GPT. Now if you ask me whether I would look, when I tested with few personalities, I gave a certain scenarios on certain conversation done within the WhatsApp. In the WhatsApp we have conversations, right? In the WhatsApp I took a screenshot and I uploaded in the chat GPT, okay, to understand where that person's behavior, okay. So till I was uploading it, I was thinking, okay, that particular person is 100% transparent, okay. But each statement, when I read it from each statement breakdown by the chat GPT, it is telling to me that the person is picking words very carefully when he is giving you the conversation, okay. So my thinking was that that particular person is very transparent. Let's say friend one, okay, I'm just giving as a friend one is very transparent. But when I looked into the perspective of ChatGPT, it is saying, be careful, he is picking the words and giving you information. Okay, so it's giving me a different perspective. Okay, now it puts me into a doubt, saying that where do I have to focus? Do I have to go with my own perspective, or do I have to get the completely accept what information is given by the ChatGPT? Okay, so I'm using this AI tool. Now I also put another scenario, I also put another image for between me and my classmates, which I have learned with my classmate who was with me for 10 or 12 years back. We were in the same class. Around 20 years back, let's take 20 years back, we were studying in the same class, and recently we met together. Okay, we met together. I took out the screenshot, and the same screenshot I put it for the ChatGPT to know how it will analyze that person's behavior. Okay, just for testing. I'm just testing it. Okay, so that particular person is said, this friend of yours is very transparent. Okay, she is emotionally sharing you information because you both are on the same page. Okay, so this is what I got. So what happened right now, I am trying to think how much does this machine learning, or how much does this AI tools or chat GPTs are able to understand the human behavior. Okay, where are we able to get it? So now I got two scenarios. A friend of one which is saying that you have to be very careful, this person is partially transparent. I have not accepted it, I'm still testing it, okay, to know whether should I go by that or whether should go by their next opinion. Okay, then the second thing, I'm still doing it, I'm not very sure whether that person is transparent or not. Okay, so still it's not easy time for me to conclude. Okay, but I will say 50-50 I can rely on the information that I get from from these AI tools.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Yes, as we all of us, we know that we cannot trust the AI fully, but at least 50%. And according to what the statistics says, that we have to come up with our own conclusion. So it's not just to stick to what the AI said. Thank you so much, Dr. Gina, Dr. Widad, and Dr. Leila for delivering such a wonderful speeches and, of course, such a wonderful answers, for sharing your insights and thoughts throughout this panel discussion. Thank you so much. And now it's the time to hear from someone who understands the true power of evaluation. Our evaluator for all the speakers, the three speakers for this OIG meeting, is someone who empowers global leaders by bridging strategic vision, parliamentary excellence, and impactful communication. The combination of those three elements are precise as much as inspiring. So I'm pretty sure you know who am I talking about. So please welcome our speech evaluator who will guide us through a constructive feedback and thoughtful reflections to help the speakers to grow and deliver better speeches in the future. Please put your hands together to welcome the evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Ali Shahbaz Ali. The floor is yours, DTMI.
Thank you once again, our Master of Ceremonies, our panel moderator, DTM Zahra. So here is the overall evaluation of all the three speakers. Now for our guests, once again, you're most welcome to the OIG series. Here we evaluate all the speakers as one stack, connecting to the theme and what they have delivered today. Talking about the theme of the meeting, which revolves around marketing, socializing, strategies to communicate, all our speakers have somehow hit the theme in depth actually. Let's imagine a world where we don't understand egos much and we want to socialize. We can make mistakes, right? Just imagine a scenario, we walk into a place and we don't know how to read people. We don't know how to understand body language. We don't understand communication skills when it is exchanged on the dinner table. We might make mistakes on judging someone. So today, all the three speakers talking about Toastmaster Leila, Toastmaster Vidad, and Toastmaster Gina hit the target very well. One speaker, Toastmaster Leila, spoke about ego, which is very important when we talk about marketing, socializing, communication. The moment we get out of our comfort zone, our ego acts like the GPS to tell us whom to connect with, why to connect with, how to connect with. And then our second speaker spoke about dynamic leadership. And when we don't have that leadership quality in a crowd, we can make mistakes for our decisions. We can make mistakes in judging someone. And then going to the final speaker, Toastmaster Gina, it's all about algorithm, AI, ChatGPT, or even to make a simple invitation for a marketing event or inviting someone, we use ChatGPT. I would just tell you something. Once I tried ChatGPT, not the pro version, and I told type an Eid Mubarak message. It wasn't ChatGPT, I won't take any brands, it was an AI software. And I said, make an Eid Mubarak message for me, just in 4 lines. It wrote Eid Mubarak to you and your family and things. And at the end, it wrote, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. So it started with Eid, ended with Merry Christmas. And then I understood AI can seriously make some great mistakes. We cannot trust that. We need to double check. I'm just wondering if people really write their homework, their assignments completely depending on ChatGPT. I can see our Master of Ceremonies laughing, but I don't know what's the exact reason. So here is my evaluation on individual delivery, individual speeches today. Our first speaker, Toastmaster Leila, spoke about different levels of ego. And that was wonderful. I never thought we could have survival ego, possessive, status, purposeful, humble. We just knew the word, or I knew ego as ego. You know, uh, it fluctuates depending on the situation. Some days ego takes over when there is less self-awareness. But now we know when we do deep study, there is so much to it. She spoke about Freud theory, I believe, to talk about different levels of ego, and it was wonderful. Now, hats off to our speaker to bring so much of content in a very short time. And I wish these slides were not over because ego is a subject where we get carried away and we want to hear so much. My recommendation for this kind of speech would be if there would have been a humor punch somewhere due to misunderstanding someone's ego or empathy, this happened in one of the stories. While in this situation, that could have been amazing in the speech. The speech started with a question, and it was about raise your eyes. And I was glued to the first slide itself. A very happening subject nowadays where people really want to travel within than traveling outside most of the times. So you got that spark in all of us today, Toastmaster Leila, and for sure this speech won't be forgotten at least for next few hours. We all will have some ego analysis while we deal with people today at least. I'll try my best to keep the speech tomorrow also while I deal with people, but definitely we'll take care of the ego part. The speech was for 5 to 7 minutes. We gave our OIG speakers 8 to 10 minutes today. I would recommend our speaker to take this one point where to add that humor punch a little personalized in the speech and try it out in a next speech. If you want to deliver your next speech for 8 to 10 minutes, just let the VP Education of your club know that to be fair, you delivered the first speech in 8 to 10 minutes. We can discuss that if we can make it from 5 to 7 minutes to 8 to 10 minutes. But if you can do the speech or any speech of similar style in 5 to 7 minutes, that will be wonderful, Toastmaster Leila. Going to the second speaker, Toastmaster Vidant. Congratulations on finishing your path in dynamic leadership. When we say Toastmasters, describe Toastmasters in 3 words. We always say, find your voice. And today I feel the speaker really spoke and she found her voice. Why do I say this? Our speaker is known in the club for being very humble, very polished speaker, kind heart, is always positive, grateful about many things in her life, despite discussing her struggles in her previous speeches. She has been this icon who is very calm and great listening skills. She brought all this to this journey in front of us today while reminding us of her previous speeches. I can never forget her speeches of her childhood memories, of her challenges which she took, business ideas. So there is so much she offered to us in the club by this path, dynamic leadership. Now, she admitted the small roles made a big difference in her life. What are these roles? Being an MC, being a table topic master. And for our audience, these roles make a huge difference. And she proved that. She spoke about taking some assignments, and she never knew that this could bring up something in her conscious and connect with it. For example, she spoke about her fear was distractions, if you all noticed. She could get easily distracted, but through this path, she learned that it's okay to let go of some distractions. One story, a quick one, I remember when I went for one of my job interview several years back in teaching. What happened during the interview while I was giving the teaching demo, the door was opening, closing, people were walking in and out, to the point that some staff would come give his keys to another staff. And I was giving the demo. I did get distracted, but I didn't show it. After the interview, when they selected me, they told me, we did this distraction on purpose. We wanted to see how you react to this distraction, and you took it very well. So, this small words which our speaker used today, distractions, makes a big difference how we emotionally react to something which happens suddenly in front of us while we are performing, giving a speech, playing any role. So, what we do at that time really matters or describes us. She also spoke about getting rid of the fear of not being humorous. And let me tell you, Toastmaster Without, whenever you gave any humor punchline, it did make a difference. So she spoke about being a good listener is very important about for before being a good leader. So there were a lot of takeaways in her speech today, and I can say this was a complete graduation speech. Thank you very much for sharing your journey with us, Toastmaster, with us. Moving to the final speaker, to the last speaker of the OIG series today, and I would say for the term, that's Toastmaster Gina. Now, Toastmaster Gina came up with a wonderful subject, which is all about chatting, chatbot, AI, and how we can understand different personalities, ourselves, others, just with simple chat messages. Wonderful slides, wonderful information. She connected different colors, red for dominant, yellow for inspiring, green for supportive, blue for being very much into analysis. She spoke about how to be how to improve your social competency. She connected colors with different animals, lions, dolphin, and so on. Now, definitely the speech grabbed our attention because we are actually being AI dependent. Now, I don't know what stage each one of us are in right now, but we are getting there. And the worry is how much dependent we will get with AI. So, a few points for improvement where the speech could have been better, or few future takeaways would be in some slides, I did notice the content was little higher. And while I was reading the content, a question was already put up while I was reading. So it didn't allow me to read the whole content when it was a wonderful content. So the question kind of stopped me from reading the content. But the question again was even interesting. So I would recommend speeches either decreasing the content or let people read and then ask the question, whichever suits much better. I wish we could see our speaker today. We missed seeing Toastmaster Gina because she is one personality. If you can see her while she's performing, that makes a full-fledged speech, and her personality is really very filled with energy, I would say, which makes the speech even better. This is my one point. This is my second point, and the last point for Toastmaster Gina. She mentioned at the end, I would like to conclude and thank you. We didn't need that. Maybe it could close with a closing slide. Thank you could be mentioned there, or some call for action. Now, all the three speeches makes us much self-aware now when we talk about marketing, socializing, either we use AI or not, but it did affect us today positively, talking about ego and even while chatting, good listening. So, friends, to wrap up the evaluation session, I would say every role makes a difference. We saw a graduation speech today. Let's give our best to every role taken. I would like to thank the timer for supporting us for making sure the speeches ends on time. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you. A round of applause to distinguished Toastmaster Ali Shahbaz. I'm pretty sure that none of us could have done it in a better way other than you. You, mashallah, summarized all the speeches for the three speakers within one full evaluation. It was detailed, it was, the fruitful, it was like even very precise. You mentioned the tiny detail that the speakers talked about, and this shows you're a Toastmaster and you're mastering the listening and evaluation skills. Thank you so much to our evaluator and to the timer of today. Now we would love to hear the timing for each and every speaker. Toastmaster Sarah, if you can just share with us.
Sure. I did not expect that this would be happening, but anyways, of course, our first speaker, Toastmaster Leila, took 11 minutes, 47 seconds. Toastmaster Vidar took 15 minutes, 22 seconds. And Toastmaster Gina took 10 minutes and 20 seconds. For the panel discussion, it was a 9 minutes, 43 second long, but very, very nice. I didn't want to show the red, but I was forced to do it. And of course, an evaluator. I started green, yellow, red for him later, because trust me, we all love hearing DTM Zahra and DTM Ali. It's difficult to keep them on time. But 13 minutes and 48 seconds for our evaluator, DTM Ali. That's it from my side. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, our vibrant, our wonderful, let's say, a gathering organizer, DTM Sarah Ibrahim, for sharing with us the report. And now, as we wrap up for today's meeting, I would like just to leave you with some of moments to reflect. So marketing today is no longer about loud messages and flashy campaigns. It's more about connection and knowing your audience. So I hope that our speakers inspired you today and inspired you to think differently, and of course to communicate with your audience in a personalized way. Thank you for our speakers, role players, and our special evaluator, and of course, the special timer. Thank you so much. Special thanks to the audience who made this event or an online meeting an extraordinary meeting. And I'm pretty sure that you've learned a lot. And I would like to give the control back to Madam President Toastmaster Widad Hijazi.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Zahra, for taking this amazing lead. I would not repeat what is said. Thanks for each and everyone who attended here today. For the roles you took, you were all amazing. I would like to share the certificates first, and then I'm eager to hear from our guests. Don't leave, I want to hear from you. So our certificates for today the first one goes to Toastmaster Dr. Layla Al-Ali for taking the role as a speaker. The second certificate is for Toastmaster DTM Zahra Al-Mukharraq for being the MC for all this gold today. The third one goes for, sorry for the repetition. So one for me for being a speaker, one for Dr. Gina for being a speaker today. Your speeches were amazing. And we have a special certificate goes to our amazing evaluator. You did well. I was amazed by the way you presented. What you presented is a speech by itself that we learned from it. Thank you very much for being evaluator for 3 together. That's not easy. And DTM Sarah Ibrahim for being the amazing timer. Thank you very much for being here. And before we conclude our Olds Gold meeting number 48, I'd like to hear from our guests. The first one, I'd like to thank also our Vice President Public Relations, Toastmaster Malaki, for the certificates. She always corrects at the last moment. She's there and available on time. Thank you very much for being here. DTM Elias, would you like to tell us about your experience today with us in All This Gold? You are most welcome every time you join us from far away. We can't hear you. Okay, who would like to Toastmaster, coach, awareness coach or mindfulness coach Zainab? You're most welcome. She's joining us from Lebanon. Would you like to tell us how do you feel about our All This Gold today?
If you please, I'd like to. Thank you for this opportunity for having me as your guest today. Honestly, it took me on cloud nine. I didn't plan to be your guest today. Honestly, I just when TM Malaki, let's say when she sent the link meeting, I said why not go into it. I know I had some free time and I was in a bad mood. When I first saw you, you know what you mean to me. We're just presenting, and I saw your smile. I said, "Wow, that's gonna be wonderful." And I've been here for the last 2 hours listening to your speeches, and I must say that it was stunning, really. The subjects, your presentations, all of you, and it was really enjoyable for me, and I can't describe my feelings. So thank you.
You're most welcome, Coach Zainab. Hope you have the chance to join us later on in our next meetings as well. Your presence is an added value to us. Who would like thank you very much. Who would like from our guest to share his experience or feedback, or we have any? We have GTM Elias. I think I see the microphone is open, but we can't hear you. Any feedback? Okay, GTM Farouk, would you like to say something before we conclude our meeting, adjourn our meeting?
You're putting me on a spot, table topics, but I really enjoyed today's meetings. Just to be surmise something about it. So what I personally felt was that what all of you talked about was related to marketing in the connected to the theme of the meeting today in a subtle manner. Because one of the things in marketing that we have nowadays is, as you said, as Ditya Zahra was saying, we market products, we market people. Now we are marketing emotions. Things have changed a lot from before. And this is why understanding human psychology and emotions is very important to all of us. And this is where the speakers had today highlighted the different stages, where the ego, the self-awareness, and the different perspectives. And what I really felt was while Dr. Laila started with the ego issue and focusing on one theme and everything, then you, Dr. Vidat, talked about your emotions as you progressed through the path and how you developed and how you matured. And this was again, in sense, corroborated by Dr. Gina when she said that emotions and self-awareness is important because they keep changing time and time again. And this is how marketing is nowadays. And this is when now the new technology we have, like AI and all the bots that are coming in, they are able to read emotions and come up with things more quickly than we can. Are they true all the time? No, but they are learning. And one day they will be true. They are already very valuable tools for us. And as I was discussing with Dr. Ditya Mali, is today now we have like something like all artificial intelligence today, where they, based on your user browser history and profile, can create a pseudo profile of your self-awareness. And based on this, give you different marketing messages. So if you want to be a marketer in today's theory, in today's world, and do not do it shouting, you have to be settled, silent, and you have to use AI now. That was my summary. And again, I really like Dr. Gina when she said that when you read something, it's only a perspective. Do not be fixated by it. It's not the truth. It's just a one version of it. So make your own versions and adapt and enjoy the journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. With this, I adjourn All This Gold meeting number 48. See you next month, first Saturday of July, with a new version of All This Gold, new experiences, new things to share together. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you
Bye,
so much,
everybody.
and enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.